I'm Christo Lues, and together with Frick van Rensburg and Johan Loopscher, we've developed a system to use grey water. The idea is that if you use grey water on your garden, you don't really save water. The only way you save water is if you physically take less water from the municipality. And in these extreme droughts, we can't water. So what the plan is to use the grey water that we harvest from showers, from bathtubs, from face basins, and then also from the washing machine, the laundry, for grey water reuse. We do specifically not use water from the kitchen because of the high fat content and things like that. So Frick came up with the idea that we would harvest the water, store it, clean it, and then reuse it to flush the toilets, and that's exactly what we've done. So together we've developed this system. This is a mock-up of a demonstration of what our system does. First of all, it would work like this. If you take a bath, or you use the hand basin, or you use the shower or the washing machine, all of that water flows into our grey water system in the bottom. It gets cleansed, and then we replenish it to a tank in the ceiling, and we use that to flush the toilets. So you use the same water twice. You don't use fresh water to flush the toilet. So at the moment, if you have grey water in your toilet, you most probably harvest it in your shower or your bathtub and take a bucket and put it in the toilet. Now every time you flush a toilet, you use around 9 liters to 10 liters of water, depending on what system you use. And worldwide it's been shown that 30% of water drawn, fresh water drawn, gets flushed down the toilet. Not a very effective system. So, and the other problem is that if you use less water to flush the system, the municipality gets into problems. So we've heard that in Cape Town specifically, there's been a vast increase in call-outs from the municipal workers to clean blocked drains, because people are physically using less water to flush the toilets. So our system doesn't use less water to flush the toilet, it simply uses water which would have gone to waste, and it uses it effectively to flush the toilets. And the way we do it is, like I explained, so we collect the water as the fresh water comes in. We have let me first say, we have a microcontroller that controls the whole system, so that in the house nobody has to worry about, is there enough water in the tank? Is there fresh water available? Are we using fresh water? Are we using grey water? Everything works automatically. So you don't have to worry about it. The system is virtually maintenance free, and it looks after itself. If some fault does occur, a valve gets blocked or a filter gets dirty, the system will alert the homeowner to remedy that, call service or whatever. So what we have is we have water flowing into our first tank. This sensor indicates, this is a simulation through a switch just. We have a contactless water sensor that senses the grey water comes in. After the grey water is done, it cleans the filter, it backwashes the filter, and then the water is in our system. So this is a tank that is below the ground level of the house, and then we have a tank at the top. So physically here you won't see anything. We have a very neat case with a whole lot of valves and a pump and filters that are completely concealed, so you don't even see that. And all of that is under the control of the microprocessor. So what we then do is, our water level, these two lights here, the green light indicates that there is water, and the red light indicates that there is no water. So the water level is somewhere in between here in our bottom tank. And in the top tank, similar, we have two sensors, a minimum and a maximum, which are simulated by these two switches. So let me show what happens. If we have water in the top tank currently, and the toilets get used, and we fill the toilet bowls with that, but now we have used all the water in the top tank. So now it shows that we have no water there. Immediately our pump in the bottom tank would switch on. It pumps the water through the filter bank. Chlorine gets added so we don't have smelly water. It pumps it up to the top, and the pump will run. We will start filling the bottom, and it'll keep running until the tank is completely full to the top. and then the pump shuts down and everything is back to. In the meantime, if you do laundry, that water gets collected back into the grey water system or in the storage tank for later usage. I must just also mention that the water is also cleansed in the bottom tank in a way that we remove all the solids, so nothing will go into your system and clog it up. You don't get bits of hair or wool, pieces of fabric from the washing machine that ends up in your system. So let's say our tank is full at the top, but now your wife does more laundry, or somebody else takes a shower. It's Christmas time and everybody's visiting, so now this tank reaches a level where it becomes full. What we then do is we use this water. You can see the pump switch is on, and we call it overflow here. It pumps the water out to a secondary storage facility. You can choose what you want to do with that. You can either give it to your neighbor, you can flush it down the drain, or you can wash your car, or do whatever you like with that grey water. No chlorine is added to that water if you want to pump it onto your lawn, for instance. So if the water level of that tank drops, the pump will switch off, and the water level will be more or less there. In the meantime, we use the water, and the top tank is now empty, and we refill it from the bottom, and it will also pump it again until the top tank is full. Now let's say in South Africa we have sometimes a problem with power. So what happens is the power fails. So here we simulate the power failing. Once the power fails, the system will tell us that the power is failing, and you might be using fresh water now, because remember, we can't operate the pump. The pump works on AC from 220 volts. So we cannot pump the water up. So now we use the toilet, and we use some of the water, and eventually the top tank becomes empty. And in a usual scenario, that would mean you wouldn't have water to flush your toilets. But what we do is we have a standby battery in here, and we can operate the valve here for many hours. So we now draw a little bit of fresh water from the municipality. We're not going to fill the tank, because if we fill the tank, it means we're going to use a lot of water, fresh water, and the power might just be out for, let's say, 10 minutes or an hour or 2 hours. So we use a minimum amount of water just to keep the tank full to the minimum. So now we can flush the toilets. If the toilet uses a lot of water, the same thing will repeat. We will use fresh water to fill that. Should the power come back on, and we now can do laundry and whatever, the same thing will repeat. We will pump water to the top, and as the water is pumped to the top, everything is well. And now we've got so much water that the system automatically goes into overflow and reuses that water for whatever. We pump that empty, and our system is in normal running, as we would say. So the idea is that in the house, the person that is in the house, that be the house owner, will have access to this. Maybe maintenance is needed because your gardener might have cut out one of your tubes leading up to the top. The system will know, and it'll alert you, and that you need to get service in to do that. The priority is to keep the top tank filled with grey water, so we hardly ever use fresh water to flush our toilets.